What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? A podcast about life in the music street. I am not your host, Patrick Tarnowski. I am the host today. It's me, Gibby. Y'all already know. When Pat's not here, I'm in charge. And today, I'm not alone. We have fellow UPP team member Brett with us.
Howdy.
And Pat had to run some errands, so I'm in charge today, and you guys already know we're gonna have some fun. Today, we're welcoming a band that's from a special place in my heart. We're from Madison, Wisconsin. Y'all know I basically grew up like 20-30 minutes outside, so I love Madison. So please welcome and joining Alex, Benjamin, and Kat from the all queer and trans indie pop band Cat and the Hurricanes. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thanks.
So we'll just hop straight into this. You released your latest album, got it out on October 4th of this year. Tell us a bit about the album and how the reception has been so far.
Well, it feels really good to finally have it out. We have been sitting on some of these songs since 2020.
Ooh.
So it feels nice to have ears on it, and it feels like it's had really good reception so far.
Yeah, it's been a long process. We put out 3 EPs before this, but this is our first full-length project. And we intentionally took our time with it, but then there was a whole pandemic in there, and lots of things happened. So yeah, I don't know. It's been great. We had a bunch of singles that we put out leading up to it, and that was really great, just getting hype around it and kind of touring. And yeah, I don't know. We're still kind of like on the edge of our seat waiting to see what happens. We haven't really done like a full tour on the album yet. We did a bunch of shows just around Wisconsin, but we're waiting until next spring, summer to really go out on the road to play these songs, which is also going to be cool because then people have maybe had a chance to listen to them a little bit more. And yeah, we've been waiting to play some of these songs live too until we put out the album. So it feels good to finally be in an era where we can retroactively say, here's an album that we finished, because for like 6-7 years we've been saying
something like that.
It will come eventually.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like to like listen to the artist while I'm like prepping for the interview. And this album is so good. I like just threw it on just to like, I was like, all right, let's check this out while I'm writing some questions out. What's It All For is such a banger. Like, that is probably my favorite song on the album right now.
Amazing.
That's so good to hear. Thank you so much. That song was like, that was really fun to record. We had a lot of hijinks. We actually just made a little video recently of there's like a lot of screaming in the background. It's a song like a lot about rage, right? So highly recommend you listen for some of the screaming in there. We did some like behind the songs videos and posted them on our socials recently, so you can like hear what it sounds like isolated. It's pretty great.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brett.
Right on. So kind of on the same subject of music, you guys released your first EP, Miles Away, in 2017. And that's, quite a while ago. How would you say your music has grown or changed since then, or even just the writing process in general?
Boy, yeah. I mean, very simply and, very complicated. I started as a solo artist. So everything started at solo and acoustic. And then it started evolving when I met Benjamin, and then I brought Benjamin into the project to co-write and basically start playing shows with me. And then in 2019, met Alex, and then Alex jumped in on drums. So as we've been moving along, it's not just me doing just the songwriting and the production of the songs. It's a co-collaboration now, and it feels really nice to kind of set down, like, not that it felt like a responsibility, but it feels nice to share that responsibility with these two that also share like the same passion of like being in this band, and it makes it really cohesive and fun and exciting. So that's been really nice. And yeah, we've just been getting louder, faster, stronger. And yeah, and now we are sitting on 3 EPs and a full length album. We're really proud of it.
So just to expand on that a little, what made you decide to like want to go from just like an acoustic solo artist to just getting people in for the band and
Yeah.
making it like a full band thing?
Yeah. Well, before Cat and the Hurricane was a thing, I was actually in a band with like 8 to 10 people from Janesville, Wisconsin, and it was like a collaborative like effort of like every genre just mixed into like this. It was basically like a jam group, and that ran its course. So after that was done, I was the only one who didn't have a discography underneath my belt. So I started recording as a solo artist, and it just started to feel lonely. It was like, I feel like I could do so much more with a band behind me or just like standing alongside me, because it's just, I don't know. It's feels a little bit lonely to be a solo artist sometimes. So it's, felt necessary to find like-minded musicians at some point, and that led me to these two.
Brett knows all about
Very cool.
lonely solo artists.
Oh, I sure do. Don't I? Do I ever? So in 2023, you received the Artist of the Year award from Madison Area Music Association. Tell us about that. What was that? What was that like? Like, what was that experience like?
That was a cool moment.
That was
wild.
Unreal. Like it was a big deal that we were nominated and that we made it to the final round. And I mean, I'll speak for myself. I did not think we were going to win it. We were up against like
20.
Yeah, like
19
yeah.
other bands that were like friends and community members with here in Madison.
And that honestly, in my opinion, like all love and respect to what we do, like they just blow us out of the water. They're so incredibly talented and they have so much history and they've won so many awards. And we look up to them. And so, yeah, like it was one, like just unreal, incredible surprise. And two, the way that they announced that we won was the most painful process.
Oh, no.
Especially knowing that we ended up winning. They had this like slideshow and they would like, it was like as people were like getting voted off the island, kind of. It would start with like all 20 and then it would go 19 new list,
Yep.
18 a new list, like 17 and on and on and on and on. And it was like it felt very
just like
it went on like it wasn't like at the Grammys where they'll do like here's all the nominees and then they'll do like okay and here's the winner. Like they were going one by one.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Unusual.
And we were like this is
suspenseful.
And it was also like not a formal event, but like it was people were seated. It was this more semi-formal, and we're all just like standing in the back by the bar, just like watching the screen, like jumping up and down, and everyone's just like looking at us.
And there was, in my opinion, like we were going to be so happy to like just have been nominated, made it to the final round, especially against all these artists. But as it started getting into like the top 5 and we were still on the list, and then 4 and then 3, every time they would announce a new level, you would just hear from the back like this, like, oh no, no way, oh my god, like, and it's just us like, standing in the back, like totally making kind of a fool of ourselves. But
it came down to one of our favorite bands in the community called Work, WURK. Lovely people. Great friends. We've collaborated with them many times. And I mean, just to be up against such a great band that are also like our friends, it was just, I don't know. It was a really funny moment because we like all tackled each other. Somebody got it on video.
Yeah. There was a lot of love in the room. It was really, really sweet. And we also we got to play that award ceremony for the first time that evening. And it was kind of like our re-debut into that scene. Again, we hadn't played for that specific crowd since we were babies, like maybe 2019, 2020, maybe? 2020, maybe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
And so, it was just a really special night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And correct me if I'm wrong, because they do like a gala type thing for that, right?
Yeah,
and they didn't for a few years, partially because of COVID and then, transition of leadership. So there were a few years where it didn't happen. So that was the first one that they had brought back to doing in person.
So. Yeah, and I think it's scaled down a little bit. I think they used to do it in like some much bigger venues, but Yeah, no, it's still very like they make an award show out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a huge deal, honestly.
Right.
We were so humbled.
I couldn't imagine just that suspense building up, and just like I like me putting myself in your shoes. I'd probably be like, oh, wait,
Yeah, right.
we're still in this. We're still guys. Like, I could see myself just making an absolute fool of myself over that.
Totally.
I probably would have been shaking in the corner, just asking myself, what do I do with my hands?
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
well, and they didn't tell us what we were supposed to like. Then you can see this on the video where we're like, are we supposed to go up? Because one person told us that they were gonna have the winners like come up and say something like on the mic.
Because that was like the biggest award.
And then someone else was like, no, we're not doing that. We had so we were literally just like, are we supposed to go somewhere? Or like what do we do?
Yeah. We didn't end up having to like go up and accept anything or make any
we
we didn't have to say anything.
We won 2 other awards that night as well.
Oh yeah.
Music video
of the year. We did a cover of Stay by Mickey Echo and Rihanna.
And
Oh yeah.
cool song.
nice.
Oh yeah. Maybe
Right?
sorry. No.
Something.
Maybe was it like that pop rock artist where it had all the different categories in there?
Maybe.
Ugh,
We could go
something
look
like
at
that.
We have the trophies in our band room where we practice. So yeah.
Oh, well, that's awesome. It sounds like it was a really, really, really big night for you guys, and especially like considering the kind of the evolution, over the years to kind of see it finally come to fruition like that, and just knock it out of the park. So a belated congratulations to you guys on all that. That's very, very impressive. Very,
And
very
that
cool.
has to be like such an honor too, like hometown, like just getting an award for that big is like so cool.
Yeah, and one thing I'll say, like, this is a bigger like music industry thing that I love talking about, is that a lot of bands will either take the route of kind of being like big in their hometown and doing like all the bar shows and like being really invested in their local community, being in like 12 different bands, doing the tribute stuff. And other artists will take the route of like going out on the sort of DIY tour circuit and like touring a lot. And we've tried to do both, which has been really like, there have been moments where we're like, is this the wrong move? But that was definitely confirmation of like, it was cool to do that, even though we're trying to tour and kind of expand outside of our scene, that there are still people in our scene here that are like seeing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of a cool way of saying like, I don't know, you can try to branch out, but also still kind of be proud of your roots, which is cool.
Yeah, I know. As like someone who like moved from Texas to Wisconsin, I really appreciate that there's platforms like that to help people find the scene or get connected into the scene. Because when I first moved here, I legit thought there was like no scene in Madison. Like it, like the DIY scene was so underground. Like you just had to know somebody to like find a show. And like I remember like one of my friends' band just was like touring in. I was like, oh, I'll go see y'all. I don't know. I was like, you guys are playing in Madison? I didn't even know there were local bands there. I've been trying to find them. And then like once I found them, oh my god, it was like the floodgates opened and I found everybody.
Yep. That was kind of my experience too when I lived there as well. Like there was nothing, and then all of a sudden I'm playing in like 3 or 4 different bands with almost all the same people, just with a few different members. And my life went from not playing in bands for quite some time to just like that was all I was doing, and I loved it. It was such a thriving like music community there, across the board, like everything. It's great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely a I don't know, not a place people think of, Wisconsin being like this hub of like indie music, but it really is a lot. You just have to know where to look.
It's like a smaller Austin.
Yeah.
I've
always said about
that
Madison
before.
too.
Yeah, I have said that many times.
Yep.
Love it.
There you go. Yeah. No, it's definitely got a lot of like, I don't know, just a lot of stuff to be proud of when it comes to music. It's got a lot of really good history. The venues are fantastic. And yeah, the scene's just like super like tight.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we got
is that the new member of the band?
hanging out.
That's the fourth member.
This is George.
This is George. Okay, I'm just gonna
Aw.
turn you around. There you go.
Don't worry. If my door wasn't shut, my cat would be in here too.
Yeah, same. I just got a kitten. She's like
Oh,
not even 3 months old.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so that's not
Um,
disclosed.
my cat Taro, he's like a big camera hog. He knows like when with my lights are on, he's like, "Oh, it's my time to shine," and he'll
Yep.
Yeah.
come up, just sit here.
Yeah.
you know,
That's usually what George is doing right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
you'll see the top of my chair here is completely ravaged from my older cat.
Oh yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
So I'm gonna kind of bring things back a little. So I personally I really like the whole DIY pop punk like the scene that we're all here because we all love. I really like it because and granted this could just be because I'm like a cis male, but I feel like from as my perspective that we have a really inclusive scene, but you guys being a all queer and trans band, I would love to hear your perspectives from that, from the end that I'm not a part of, but I feel like this scene is really inclusive, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, I thank you for inviting us to chat kind of about this. I
Yeah.
feel like we've been talking about this, I mean, forever.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's always so salient and top of mind for every space that we go into, every band that we work with, every venue that we work with. And it's just really important. And it's just kind of the lens that we experience the music scene, the music industry through. And I would say, honestly, when I think about it, I feel like all of the bands that I know that I consider to be that we have closer working relationships with, the vast majority of them are also queer and trans, I feel. And so I feel like we're definitely out here. And there's so much talent among the queer and trans bands, especially in the DIY scene, or thinking about pop punk or emo or anything like that. So much incredible talent. And I feel like that's always been really, really encouraging. That's part of why I personally have come into being a musician and wanting to be part of the scene and wanting to tour and doing, what we're doing right now and going where we're wanting to go. And honestly, I mean, definitely there's a lot that's there already, and we're we want to be as tapped in as possible. And there are a lot of ways that I think all scenes could grow. Just thinking about the history of music and where we've come from, just culturally, with it being, very masculine dominated. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's always that kind of tension that we're kind of thinking about. And so yeah, that's kind of where my brain goes first.
It definitely feels like a boys' club a lot of the time. And I feel like as queer and trans people in our community and the music community, we have to work twice as hard to get where people already are. And that's just it's just been a fact of we have to make as twice as many asks. We need to go out on twice as many limbs and chances. And yeah, it's just I feel like it's just a part of the struggle of being a queer and trans person, not only in the music community but in this country.
Yeah.
So it's looking at a lot of parallels of how hard we need to work.
And I feel like that's for us what has worked. I feel like is going where we're wanted, if that makes sense, because there's going to be spaces that don't even understand why it's important to talk about that. Why are we even having this conversation? Why does
Right.
a person's identity matter for the kind of music they make? And we generally, our attitude is just to kind of sidestep that conversation, because it's it is important, but I'm not going to sit here trying to convince someone if they don't think it's important. It's not my job to force someone to see it the way that I do, but we're also probably not going to end up in those venues or in those spaces if it's going to be a problem. And so I feel like we haven't really had that many shows or experiences that were super negative, but that's also because there's a lot of vetting that happens both from us and also one of the benefits of putting in our bio and everything that we're an all queer and trans band is like we're kind of filtering out some of the places that don't want us. They just don't respond to us, and we just don't ever get booked there, which is probably for the best because it's like everybody's, we're not entering into spaces where there's going to be something like antagonistic. But like Kat said, that just sometimes means sending more emails and like working harder to like find those spaces that are going to like see the importance of, the representation. And I think about bands that have a lot of success and have blown up kind of from the indie world. Like there's this band Fluorescence that's gotten really big.
Oh, I love
Love-
Fluorescence.
Love them. I hope that they continue to grow because they're so good. I mean, I think about like Meet Me at the Altar, like started in the DIY scene and they're on tour with 5 Seconds of Summer. Like
Yeah.
to see that like there is a space where people want to see more BIPOC, more queer, more like femme fronted like bands. And so I don't know, we just kind of like, so we're going to gravitate towards the people that are going to celebrate that.
Yeah, and that's been fantastic just because I feel like it's facilitated better and stronger relationships with all the folks that we've been working with because like we're kind of mutually like rooting for each other. And it's always just really sweet to like, I don't know, like have unexpected allies, like people in your corner, which is always really cool. I feel like, I don't know, I just continue to be really grateful for all the spaces that we are welcomed and people do want us. Because yeah, I feel like what's often, I don't know, just like not seen is all of that back end stuff of just like trying to get in the spaces or trying to make the connections and trying to network. But yeah, it's super important to be thinking and talking about these things. So I appreciate that.
Oh man, I wasn't nervous to ask that, but I was like, it's not my from like I said, from my experience, from my perspective, like I feel like for the most part, our scene is pretty inclusive. Like most shows I go to, I feel like is a safe space, and I just love that. And I wanted to try to get like more opinions about that to not just to educate myself, but our listeners too, because sometimes like we may not know like if things that we're unknowingly doing or like just unintentionally doing are like being perceived wrong, or you know what I mean.
Definitely. No. And yeah, thank you for asking that because it's like you don't know what you don't know. And,
Yeah.
if you're going into a space as someone who isn't, queer or isn't femme or whatever identity, like you're not necessarily going to notice things that that person might notice. And so that's why I think like the very first thing we can do is just talk about it so you can hear like what something feels like for somebody else. Yeah.
You guys kind of touched on the follow-up question to it, but like do you have like any struggles you guys would like to like expand on a little bit from like being trans and queer, like just in general from like either in the scene or like you guys said, I know you guys said like working twice as hard to get booked, and is there anything else you guys would want to expand upon on that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we talked about this a lot in our album actually. We have in particular one song called Costume, which that's our one and only hip hop track on that album. We're pretty genre fluid and gender fluid as a group.
I wanted to make the joke, but I stopped myself.
Yeah, no, it's there. It's there. You can't not make it. So, anyway, it's also our one collab track that we did on the album with our friend and local queer hip hop artist and rapper Kilo, aka Skittles from Madison. She's incredible. Wonderful friend. It was such a joy to work with her and make this song. But the whole reason why I feel like this is coming up for me when you ask that is just because like a lot of the song is about like being kind of like having to put on this kind of like facade or like or feeling even like someone's perceiving you wrong or that they have like I guess I don't know not the nicest assumptions about you, based on the way that you move through the world and that other people perceive you. And as trans folks, sometimes it's like we have to like hide our queerness or our transness, or like kind of make ourselves, I don't know, um, be kind of perceived in a different kind of way, a more acceptable way, I think, as we're navigating through society. And I definitely feel this tension on, like, I don't know, many ends of being in the music industry, but I think just like that's just like kind of this perpetual kind of baseline experience of just walking in the world as queer and trans folks, especially visibly queer and trans folks. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Y'all have any other thoughts there?
Costume, I think. Yeah, that's a great example. The proof is in the pudding of the lyrics, of just like it's very political. It talks about a little bit of like religion and um basically those systemic things that we have to live under, and decide whether or not they are for us or against us. And yeah, with the political climate as it is right now, that song is, I think, a permanent dedication as well to like all of the, like, specifically this year, Black and trans women that have been like murdered for being visibly Black and trans. But it goes beyond just Black and trans women, like Black and trans women of color. It goes beyond that. It's just like trans is an umbrella term, and I feel like queer is an umbrella term, and I feel like a certain demographic is like lumping us all together. So it's just like as a whole, like nobody's really feeling safe, right? But there are like levels of marginalization, and everybody's feeling the different effects, like the different, like what stages we're going to be feeling as we step into 2025. So just a little bit of like a what we're experiencing right now, like it's a milestone, this song, and I feel like these lyrics are they're still gonna make sense next year. They're gonna make sense at the end of the next 4 years, and then whatever comes after that, which at this point, I'm really not sure what happens after four more years currently.
Yeah, it's been feeling very existential. So yeah, I feel like that's gonna be something that unfortunately we're gonna have to keep an eye on as people who are touring through the country. And with different states that have different laws,
and through more red states apparently now. Like, yeah, that's yep. That's a good point.
Yeah, so
we do have to think about like where we're gonna stop to
go
use
to
the bathroom,
yeah,
or get food, or
stay
shop.
in hotels.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always something that we have thought about, but I just feel like it is the feeling, the underlying symptoms have been inflamed. I mean, starting in 2016, and it's really getting to a boiling point now.
Yeah.
And it, like going back to the question too of especially how that like impacts how we move through the music industry, like people might not realize like there might be a venue that's a super safe space and a venue that's super dope, and everybody that's going to come to the show, if they're coming to see us especially, like we know they're going to be cool. But if it's in, you know, some city in an area where like we have to get there, we have to like go somewhere to eat, we have to go somewhere to the bathroom, we have to stay in a hotel somewhere, like there's all these other things that like we can create these spaces in the music scene, but they're always going to be part of like bigger systems. You know, and that's like us as a band of all white queer people, like,
right?
That's not even to mention like the added layer, if we weren't white, like there's so many spaces that would be even, you know, completely different experience,
more inaccessible,
and
just more dangerous.
It's just there's really pragmatic parts of it and these really like bigger philosophical parts to it. But yeah, that's why when there are spaces, especially like, you know, queer BIPOC run spaces and venues, or like at least super like forward in supporting that kind of talent, like we try to play at those places and like support those places as much as we can, because they're super, super important.
I feel like Paradigm's a great example of that. They're just like chef's kiss of like what to expect from like a really well situated coffee shop in a really red town. And
Yeah.
like even they were explaining to us that they're trying to push back against the city because the city won't let them have a pride celebration this next year. And I think that just says a lot about like what it's like there
Mhm.
Yep.
for probably the queer and trans people that live there. Of like, wow, we're even getting pushback of like having a celebration
Yeah, on the
Right.
street.
to
Yeah.
celebrate this particular group of individuals, and we can't do that without getting permission. That's hard and that's so frustrating, and I just feel like that is just gonna become worse and worse.
Right.
That's like why we play our music, and that's
Right.
why we write the
Yep.
songs that we write, so we can go to those spaces and play that for the people who really need to hear it, in hopes of like not trying to change people's minds, but like if they hear our music and see that we are just humans that are just playing our instruments, like maybe that can connect on a different level of like,
Yeah.
we're just out here trying to survive just like you.
Right.
But we again, with the working harder, we have to work harder to survive than the average citizen.
Right.
Well, thank you guys for expounding and just sharing your experiences with that. And Brett's got something
Yeah.
that kind of will like lighten up the mood, bring it back up a bit.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah. So no, I kind of want to talk just about you guys as well. And your backgrounds. Were there any specific artists or bands that inspired you guys to
Okay.
play music? And before this band, like what did what were all your backgrounds? Where'd you guys come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
Well, Benjamin and I lived in Janesville at the same time for some time without knowing each other.
Which is a place
for
that
some
has a
time.
very small little music scene.
Very
or
small.
At the
Right.
time, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had the back bar. That's the only venue I know in
Yeah.
Janesville.
And that's closed now.
Oh, is it closed?
Is it?
It-
I didn't know
Uh,
that.
Oh wait,
Bob-
that's right. Yeah,
Bob
that's
passed
right.
away a couple
Yeah,
years
Bob
ago,
passed
right?
away.
Yeah,
Yep, I
so
remember that
that's
now.
not
Yep.
even
Yep.
that's not even there anymore. The reason that Benjamin and I met is because of Mocha Moment on what is that? Center.
yeah.
I forget the streets. I haven't been there in so long, but there's a coffee shop called Mocha Moment, and it's really how I got my start with anything. It's where I did my first open mic. But okay, so like I've always lived in like southern Wisconsin. That's me.
Yeah, I also grew up in southern Wisconsin, and I grew up in a religious family, and so I got a lot of my music education through church, like playing in church worship bands, that kind of thing. Obviously that's not what I'm doing now, but it what taught me from a very young age how to play music with other people. And especially one of the things that I think it really taught me how to do was how to like improvise, and I'd just be given like a chord sheet and like make something up. So that worked really well, especially because Kat is self-taught. Like, Kat comes up with these like musical ideas that are not on paper, and my background is very much like, how do I take that and I improvise? And so that really like clicked for us. My family is really musical. My parents put me in piano lessons when I was like 8 years old, and I did that for like 12 years. So yeah, and I have like a music minor from college. So I don't know, that's always kind of been my like, I'm not great with music theory. We have a friend who recorded bass on this album, actually, who's like a music theory genius, and he'll just like start saying things about the songs that we wrote, and he's like, "Oh, and you did this and this diminished something," and I'm like, "That's
correct."
Aaron.
If you think so.
But if you listen to the bass on it, it's like he can do these scales and
Unreal.
like inversions and things that are just like wild. So that's not where my brain is, but I know at least a little bit of theory. And that kind of is what like got me interested in.
It got us here.
Yeah, you do the improv really well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I also grew up in a musical family. Like my dad's has spent a lot of time as a pro drummer. And so I never took like drum lessons like formally until I did like one half semester in band my senior year of high school or something like that. But I've always been just like tapping on things, always had just this innate sense of rhythm. And like I think it was probably in like high school when I was listening to a lot of like Paramore and Tegan and Sarah, and really getting my foot into like the world of not men in music, specifically like queer women and queer folk in general. And branching off in different directions around those kind of two bands. Did I start being like, actually, like I can understand kind of how the drum, like how these beats are being translated across a kick, or sorry, across a kit. And like also started really wanting to be in a band at some point. I ended up focusing on kind of school and my career and things like that. So it wasn't until I was in like grad school when I started like seriously considering doing music. Up until then, I had just been like learning how to play guitar and noodling on a bunch of other stringed instruments. And it wasn't until I met Kat that I started taking drums seriously, even though I always had like, I don't know, just this innate sense of like how drumming works. And had spent a lot of time like just thinking about it. So Kat was like, "Hey, do you want to be in this band?" And I was like, "Sure. I can drum, but I don't have a kit." And they were like, "Okay, I did have an e-kit. That's right. I had started like working on kind of like not even a real like fully realized solo project or anything like that, just kind of bare bones stuff and doing some like basic music production there. So I had an e-kit for that, but yeah, for like gigging out, we didn't have anything. And so Kat was like, "Hold my beer." And they were working at a or sparkly water, yeah, I should say. And they were working at a music shop at the time, and so there was like what, a $50 or
$100 Premiere set
Yeah.
kit with like none of the breakables or anything, but you know, got to the shells.
Yeah.
And
then we started gigging out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of my background. I'm very self-taught. And yeah. So we all rely on Benjamin pretty heavily for the music knowledge.
It's
Very
funny you
cool.
mentioned Tegan and Sarah because I never really got into Tegan and Sarah until they did a song with Beach Bunny, and then I got really obsessed with them after that.
Oh, they're fantastic. Yeah, we go way back. Yeah, they're my favorite band of all time, for sure. They're definitely the reason that I'm a musician today. Like, hands down.
Yeah, no, they're definitely a good one. I'm a big fan of their stuff too. Would you? Are there any artists now that are like kind of continuing to like inspire you, like whether they're like, you know, like newer up and coming artists or like artists you play with, like, you know, artists within your circles, or within the band itself? You know, what keeps you guys like going from that standpoint?
Chapel Roan.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been really like, as a keyboard player, like I love the synths of like the 80s, and I feel like that's having a moment again right now too, which I
Mhm.
love. Like there's just, and we've been saying since, I don't know, like since we've been playing together about how we want to draw from like different genre influences, and we all have overlapping influences and also other influences, but like I feel like there's this moment happening in the music industry where like genre is mattering less and less. Like people are talking about like the death of genre, which like a whole conversation could be had about that. But for us, it's great because it's like you can just listen to a song and like, what do I like about this? Whether it's the rhythm or the textures or like all of these different production things. And you can just kind of like pick and choose without thinking about like, this is how you make pop punk or this is how you make like rock music. Like
Right.
I feel like that just is mattering less and less, which to me is exciting because, you know, I can say I like rock music and that means 100 different things to 100 different people. And I don't know. Yeah, I think about like a band I'm really loving is Stand Atlantic. They're like a
Yes.
punk band from
So
Australia, I think, or New Zealand.
Yeah, Australia.
Yeah, yeah. They're fantastic. There's a band called Gold Steps that's from Milwaukee that we
Yep.
played with before. They actually got to
They're
open for
so
them.
sick.
they're really great. I mean, like I said, Fluorescence and Meet Me at the Altar. I'm just seeing like love that pop punk is having this like emergence again, but also in a way that's like using synths and using kind of almost like more hip hop rhythms. And I mean, I even look at someone like Lil Nas X, who like unironically love, and I feel like his music is like drawing from so many different influences and just like layering them on top of each other. And I don't know. I just think that's exciting. It's an exciting time to be making music.
Yeah. It's a fun story about Gold Steps. Before I lived in Wisconsin, like I moved there when I was in high school. I moved there when I was in high school, graduated. I said, I'm going back to Texas because I want to do more music stuff down there. And then while I was down here, my old band, we were playing shows, and we ended up playing a bunch of shows with Gold Steps because they're originally from Austin.
Okay, yeah.
And they had also moved from Wisconsin to Austin.
Yeah.
And then I ended up having a family emergency, so I ended up moving back to Wisconsin. And then come to find out a couple of years later, they just upped and moved the whole band to Wisconsin. And I was like, this is just such a fun coincidence.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Keep ending up together.
Right.
That's cool. Yeah, no, they're great.
Yeah. Oh gosh, influences. I feel, Chappell Roan is a big one. I do this thing where I listen to a lot of bands. I really love bands. I could geek out about bands, but if someone asks me what my favorite bands are right now, no idea. But just a couple that we have kind of like interacted with and really enjoy. There's this band from Cleveland called Bitch Seat.
Love that name.
They're with two eyes. They're wonderful humans. They actually toured through Madison recently, so we got to hang out with them for a little bit. And yeah, we're pals. And then there's a band called Pretty Bitter out of DC, and they're phenomenal.
You should check them out.
Yeah, you should check them out. They also toured up through Madison a year ago or something.
Yeah.
And their stage show is one of the most incredible I've ever seen. Their drummer, Jason Hayes, is also in a band called Crooked Teeth, which is a pop punk band.
Love Crooked Teeth.
We just got to play 2 shows with them on their Midwest run.
That's sick.
At spring, and so we got to spend some time with them. Yeah. And again, phenomenal stage show. Really, really wonderful songwriting. They just go so hard, and they're real sweethearts. So yeah, check all those bands out.
Yeah.
Just want to shout out some homies because there's 2 bands from Madison right now absolutely killing it. Tiny Voices and M-Way. I don't know if you guys got to play with them.
Yeah, of course.
They are
blowing up, and they definitely deserve it. Yeah. And Tiny Voices is sick. I hadn't listened to a lot of them, but just listened recently, and it was like one of those bands where I just had no idea what I was missing out on.
We were supposed to play with Tiny Voices pre-pandemic times in Oshkosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that never came to fruition, but we love Louis. I've worked with Louis before.
I think it's Louis I play Overwatch with here and there.
Nice.
Cool. Nice.
So, real quick, one last question before we take a quick break. If you could give our listeners a piece of advice that you know now that you wish you knew when you were first starting your musical journey, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a great question.
I have one that I feel like we say to each other, but one thing that we have been embracing more and more is just learn to ask for things. And I think a subcategory of that is like learning to receive no's as like a redirection rather than a rejection. Like whether that's you're trying to book a gig or you're just starting out in a new scene and you're trying to like get out there. If someone like now that what we've learned after booking and managing ourselves for years and booking like, I don't know, 5-6 tours all on our own, I've learned that if a venue responds and says like, no, we don't have that date for you, I take that as a win because they responded, learning how to see things of like ask for things. And if people are like responding to you, then that's like one step more towards like a professional connection. And even if the answer is no, like they read your email and like they cared enough to respond to you. And so that may sound like really silly or like particular, but it really has changed. I think the way that we do a lot of things is like, what's the worst that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is not that they'll say no. The worst thing that can happen is they'll ignore you.
Yeah.
And so,
And you'll never know.
and yeah, so like, there's someone you really want to write about your music that you want to send your music to, do it, send the email. Like,
yeah, and don't be afraid to follow up. You never know what'll happen. Like I was thinking the exact same thing, because we just got our very first single premiere ever on our Got It Out, kind of all the singles we were putting out. So Therapy got a premiere, and that was a huge deal. But it was with this outlet that we had emailed, like, with everything we had ever put out before, and we never got a response before. And so it was just like, yeah, don't be afraid to follow up. And also, like, even if you get completely ignored, like, keep asking, like, keep repeating it. Like, people are probably looking at your stuff, like, even if you think they never even opened it.
Yeah, you never know who's like, even in this conversation when you're asking us bands that we love and we're like shouting out all the homies, like, you never know who's like got your back and like shouting you out in other things that it's like talking about someone positively behind their back. Like, you never know who's like out there in your corner. And the same, I think a lot of musicians like instinctively get that when it comes to your craft of musicianship, you have to do that, where you just like keep showing up even if you're not seeing results. Just every day you're practicing, you're getting better. And I think a lot of musicians would see a lot of success if you take that same attitude and like treat what you're doing like a business, and like you're showing up professionally, and like you're putting yourself out there, you're asking for opportunities, like just the same way that you're practicing your musical craft. Like, stretch your muscles of like sort of the business side of things too, and like the touring and all of that. Because if you're really trying to create something, like, you have to believe in it before anyone else is going to believe in it, and that can just really go a long way.
Yeah, and rolling with rejection is so huge.
Yeah,
because it's like, I feel like when we first started doing this, we would get a no, and it'd be like, I'm reading it like, no, we don't want you because we hate you. When really it's, no, not this time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I think getting more comfortable with being told no, because you're going to be told no or get ignored way more often than you're going to get like a yes. So yeah, that's definitely mine.
And in terms of like the music, make it perfect, but don't be a perfectionist. To not be a perfectionist is actually something that somebody told me. It was Jack and Natalie from Pomplamoose. I don't know if you're familiar, but they are the creators of Patreon, which we're trying to work on our Patreon presence as of this moment. But I got a chance to meet them at the High Noon, and my best friend and I were like, what advice can you give us as like new musicians who are trying to do what you're doing? And it was just straight up, don't be a perfectionist. It doesn't matter if it's perfect. It doesn't matter. Put it out. Don't be afraid. Like, the more content that you can make, it's good enough. So, which I say that having tried taking that advice, now I'm giving it out, and I'm still learning to also implement that for myself.
But the not letting perfect be the enemy of good is a big one. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, it's hard. But you can do it.
Yeah,
it's like what I say at work when I have to train the new person. It's a do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
But to expand on the follow-ups thing, yes, following up is so important. Like, like, I get emails all the time for like Unsigned pop punk stuff, and it's just like, hey, I'll have like some bands like, hey, we want to send you over an unreleased track. You want to check it out? I'll be like, oh yeah, cool, send it over, and they'll email it to me, and then I'll open the email and just be like, okay, cool, I'll go check this out later, and then I don't mark it as unread, so it just stays open, and then weeks go by, like, hey, we never heard back. We wanted to get your opinion on this for this. I was like, oh, my bad, I forgot. Let me get to that.
Right.
Totally. It happens to the best of us, truly.
Yeah, because I feel like so many people in the music industry, especially in the sort of spaces we're talking about, like, for most people, this is not our first job or our only job.
Oh, totally.
Like, people are balancing day jobs and family. So, like, just have some grace and just like keep keep reaching out. Keep trying to have those connections.
Yeah.
We are our own financial team, marketing
Yeah.
team, marketing team, managing. We
Social
all of our
media
own graphics
team.
and videos. Yeah.
all of those things that we might need a person for someday. The three of us do.
Yeah.
And we've gotten this far, so I think it's working out pretty okay.
Yeah. And stuff falls through the cracks sometimes, but yeah, it's gonna be okay.
But in terms of like content creation and making music, it's never the end of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and with that being said, we're gonna hop into a quick break, and we'll see you soon.
Today's episode is sponsored by Chattanooga Beard Company. Are you looking for a quality company to help sexify your beard? Turn it up to 11? Take it to a whole new level? I have tried lots of other products over the many years it's taken to grow these luscious face locks. And then I tried Chattanooga Beard Company, and I kid you not, it changed my beard's life. Their products are made from quality ingredients like sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, coconut oil, beeswax, lanolin, and shea butter. I have at home their shampoo and their conditioner, 2 different scented beard balms, 1838, which is wood, amber, and grapefruit, and churchwarden, which is pipe tobacco and wild cherries, and freedom. I also have 2 of their beard oils, clean slate, which is bergamot and lime, and iron forged, which smells like coffee and chocolate, and you just want to eat it. My wife loves the smell of their clean slate oil. It's been a game changer. You don't have to take my word for it, because who am I other than the lovely looking man with this lovely looking beard? Try it for yourself. Just go to www.chattanoogabeard.co and snag any of these products or one of their other many scents and styles. And as a bonus, if you use our code Unsigned Pop Punk at checkout, you're going to get 15% off your order. So if you love your beard, or you love someone with a beard, try out Chattanooga Beard Company. You won't be mad you did.
All right, and we are back. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We're going to be hopping into our Food for Thought segment where we talk about everyone's favorite thing, food. As fellow Wisconsinites, I got to ask, what is your go-to Culver's order?
Oh, I was like, you said there is a food segment. If we don't talk about Culver's.
Yeah. Mushroom and Swiss with some cheese curds and a Sprite.
Ooh.
I'm a veggie burger basket kind of girl. I love that it's not on the menu usually, but like it's like a secret item. And when I first discovered that, I was like, I'm here. I'm back.
I'm back.
Steamed broccoli.
They also have steamed broccoli. There's an ongoing joke because when I first became vegetarian, like, I don't know, 8 years ago at this point, I was like, I'm going to miss Culver's. And someone once told me that they have steamed broccoli, so there are vegetarian options. So I was like,
it's important.
French fries are vegetarian options.
yeah, right.
That's what I'm saying.
So French fries and steamed broccoli.
Cheese curds and ranch.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pretzel bites whenever they're there.
Oh,
There's lots of vegetarian options.
yeah. Yeah. I really like their breaded pork tenderloin. That one slaps. And yeah, definitely some curds. And like maybe scoop of the day if it doesn't have nuts and won't kill me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those are all really great. I'm a basic guy. I just got the Butterburger with cheese, and I get fries, put it in, and then put cheese sauce on top.
Ooh.
And then just eat it like that. And I just have like cheese curds or pretzel bites on the side, depending what I'm feeling that day.
Nice.
That's
I'm also about as basic as they come. I always get a double sourdough melt with just the ketchup and grilled onions.
Yeah,
and again, the pretzel bites slap. I always get those too.
I haven't either.
They're pretty good.
Also,
They're good.
I don't know when they got it or if it's always been there, but like only a couple months ago, I discovered that they have root beer flavor for their mixers.
Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a root beer float. It's fantastic,
Yes.
and if you add in like brownie bites and cheesecake bites into that, like you
oh,
it's let me tell you, you're in for a treat.
okay.
I know that.
Noted.
Man, I miss Culver's.
Yeah, I know.
That's
now
what
you're
I
right.
moved.
I feel for you.
Almost closes at 10, right?
It's like-
Yeah, they're open later now. I
You
feel
dig it.
like than they used to be.
You
which
guys
is
got
great.
this. You guys got time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah,
That's the end
got
of the
it.
episode, you
Yeah.
guys.
You look at the time. I gotta get to the dentist.
You guys want anything?
I
Meteorite
want you
pie.
to send me one of everything. Just put it on dry
Yeah.
ice and just send it down.
You got it.
What is everyone's favorite snack and beverage on long drives between shows? Like, what keeps you guys going?
We love a fizzy water.
We do love
Sparkling water. All
That's
across.
like a go-to.
Or Dunkin'.
Or Dunkin'.
Yeah.
But not
But-
or and.
And you're right. And then you get your water, and then you have your 3 bisexual drinks.
Yeah, have you
As
heard?
is the
Do you know
prerequisite
about the
of being in this band.
The 3 drink theory? This was a thing on TikTok and Tumblr a while
Honestly,
ago.
yeah.
We call it the bisexual
The
drinks.
3
but
bisexual drinks.
it's
I
not
don't actually remember how that came to be.
I don't think it's exclusively bisexual, but
No, it's
TikTok just calls it the 3 drink theory. That you always need 3 drinks with you. You have one for hydration, which is like water of some kind. One for fun, which can either be like an alcoholic beverage or
A
it could be like
juice.
something sugary. And then you have one for energy, so like your caffeine. So it's like you have your water, and I feel like I go places and like I got my water bottle, I have my coffee, and then I have like
And I've got a
soda
fizzy
or
in
something.
my backpack. Yeah, we're good to go.
What's the one about the one to bring you up and the one to take you down?
Yeah, one to put, one to take the edge off, one to put
Put the edge back on. And the other one to take the edge back off.
Yeah.
Man, now you got me thinking of like
Yeah.
Right.
I do
Yeah,
carry
you
like
have your coffee till you get the shakes, then you have some water, and then
Yeah.
once you're calmed back down, then you have a soda to like get back.
Yeah,
up.
to get right back up. Yeah.
That's-
You can
Sounds
make a
healthy.
match. Yeah.
You just
Whatever
described
you want.
you just described my average work day.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I was
You don't even
about
have to-
to say.
Right.
Like-
Yeah. Next time you have your 3 bisexual drinks, which again, not exclusively bisexual. Yeah, think about
I was
Yeah.
just like, wait, no, I get water in the morning. I make my energy drink it, and then at work I get a soda, and I have all 3 of them in my cart and all at once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my god, they're right.
Yes, yes.
So
Honestly,
math is math.
everybody deserves a nice treat, and for us, most of the time, that's a nice little beverage.
Yeah.
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 But snacks.
Snacks. White cheddar popcorn for me with a strawberry lemonade Powerade.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
That's the quick trip style
Okay.
right there.
That's Quick Trip. Also Quick Trip.
And if
I was
you
gonna
have
say, yeah.
any hot
Yeah.
food, I'm getting cheesy sticks.
Oh,
with
the
some
cheese-filled
marinara.
breadsticks with marinara. But yeah.
Yeah.
They had these raspberry cheesecake mini fried. What were they calling them? Chimichangas.
Yeah.
There was a day where I went to Quick Trip 3 times in 3 different places, 3 different cities, and I got those chimichangas 3 separate times.
Can't go to the same one 3 times. That's just
Well, no, I was on a trip. But
Oh,
anyway, yeah, no, I'm on a trip. 3 different cities.
I was like 3 different cities, right? You really had to be like, no, they'll recognize me. Let me go like 30 miles down. They know. Quick trips talk to each other.
Yeah. No, I mean there is a intersection like what half a mile from here that has 2 Quick Trips
Right.
on
Across the street.
opposite sides of the road. So one could do that, but it would be in the same city.
Yeah.
and they're married.
And they're married. Yeah. They're roommates. So that would probably be my favorite, but it's never in stock. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
And of course
some
Taco
Pizza
Bell.
or something. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
You know, you can never go wrong with Taco Bell after a show.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, and it's usually open.
We've been
Yeah.
trying to get them to sponsor us for years. I mean, the
We
amount of
Feed the beast.
fan money
Come on.
we've put into Taco Bell and Dunkin'
And Quick Trip.
and Quick Trip. I'm saying, like,
Someone.
Someone.
we're out here repping them
Yeah.
single-handedly.
Honestly.
I miss Quick Trip. I still have my Quick Trip card in my wallet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, one day I'm gonna go back and I'll be like, I got it. Don't worry, guys.
If you give me your phone number, I'll type in your phone number so you can across the country.
Free beverage or something.
Yeah, maybe.
So when you come to visit, you can just like
I got all my points still.
yeah, there you go.
Gibby's grand homecoming.
That's funny.
Okay, so this is has become a new thing that I love to do whenever we get into this segment, because I like to just Google insert hometown state food staples, and then like the first article that pops up. So this is 14 ridiculously yummy foods you must eat in Madison, Wisconsin.
Let's go.
all right.
I'm gonna pick 3 of them.
Cool.
And y'all are gonna have to power rank them. But once you rank them, you can't change your.
Ooh,
Okay, got it. All right, sorry,
Okay.
Pat. All right,
Sorry.
not this one.
Come here. There's 3
All
cats.
right. Let's see. All right, this one is listed at number 4. Mac and cheese pizza at Ian's Pizza.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh,
That one's-
is that
There's
number
not-
one?
There's not going to be
Is
many
that S
things-
tier?
No, don't rank the number. The first option, you never rank it first.
It
from the
always
get-go.
goes back.
You know what?
It doesn't
It is
age.
just mac and cheese pizza. It's
It's
just mac and
true.
cheese pizza. It's
I
good
would
mac
put it,
and
like,
cheese
second.
pizza.
Second,
I'm good with
second.
that.
Like
Yeah.
an
I'm good
A.
with
Alright.
that. I don't get that every time I'm there.
Yeah.
So number 2.
Okay. Do you have the site pulled up, Brett? Do you want to throw one out there?
Oh yeah, I'm looking through right now. That was gonna be the one that I was gonna bring up because Ian's Pizza. I mean I
That's
spent
just
I
too
spent a sizable
iconic
time.
to not
Right,
put in this.
right.
It's
Y'all have
too
your
Yeah.
punch
iconic.
cards? Punch cards?
I was gonna say you spend any time on State Street, like
Absolutely, you gotta.
oh boy. Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, some of these I have not tried or heard of.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's been a hot minute since I've lived in Madison myself. I'll go with this one because I feel like this is probably potentially one that you guys have experienced. The cheese curds at the Old Fashioned.
Ooh.
It's been a minute. They are good. They are good.
I had similarly good cheese curds at the Tipsy Cow.
I was going to
I was
say,
gonna
You
say-
know, Tipsy Cow, Old Fashioned.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like
They are
right there.
similar.
Yeah.
They're both very good, but I agree. It's
Old fashioned
it's,
is the one people always say to go
it's
to.
similar.
I would put that below the mac and cheese.
I trust your judgment.
I will say the Tipsy Cow has some of the was it Tipsy Cow? I think it was Tipsy Cow has some of the best cheesecake I've ever had.
Interesting.
We're gonna have to go.
Okay.
I do really,
Band trip.
yeah.
Band trip.
I do
You
really
could
it's
at me
right
if
next to
I'm
the-
wrong.
It's
but-
right next to like the Majestic Theater, so we
Yeah.
definitely had that as
Yeah.
a band meal.
Yeah.
Many times.
Pre-show meal.
Yeah.
All right, one more on here. You know what? Let's go with this. There's nothing more Wisconsin than this. Spotted cow beer.
Oh.
I'll let you guys change one out for you. I'll be nice. You guys
Okay.
can do one audible, one
Okay.
flip.
I was gonna
Alright.
say I do love a spotted cow.
I can't drink
I also
beer.
love
So
a-
I'm
I
Yeah,
love
I'm
it too.
out.
I love it two women also.
a 2 women.
I'm not a beer drinker.
Um,
I guess personally, I would go mac and cheese curds, spotted cow. That's me.
that's
Fine,
swapping out more than one, I think.
Oh,
but
yeah. Well,
yeah, because that's like pivoting everything.
we can break the rules this once, right?
Yeah, we could break the rules.
Sure.
I won't tell.
I'd say pizza curds beer. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where
yeah,
I'm at
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
In that order too.
That is how I prefer to consume my gluten. Yeah.
You could get a spotted cow beer from the Old Fashioned or Tipsy Cow,
Yeah,
and
that's
then go
true.
get pizza afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you could, that could be one meal.
The cap.
I mean, at the one at Garber, you can definitely get some beer at
At
that
the
same.
Ian's, too.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
At the
right.
end. So you
Yeah.
can get all 3 in one trip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm, probably.
That's the Wisconsin.
Only
way.
if you're going to pick up from Old Fashioned or Tipsy Cow, and that
Is-
your final destination
Is mac and cheese
Garber.
pizza, fried cheese curds, and beer the best like show day meal?
Absolutely.
Absolutely not.
10 out of 10.
Have I done it?
You?
Yes.
Oh.
So I've worked for some of the venues before, and I've heard the speeches that bands from out of town give,
Yeah.
and they're like, I had all of the cheese curds today. I had spotted cow
Someone
today.
at the
I was like, you're gonna be so sick tonight if you don't have Lactaid. Like,
Yeah.
but like, dude,
Yeah.
you
Or just like
one in
Gotta
Wisconsin.
do some jumping jacks, get that out of your system, something. Yeah.
Oh man.
Take a nap.
So
Take a nap. Yeah.
to go through this list, let's see if you guys may be more familiar with some of the stuff than I am.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
are just like the three most. I was like, okay, these are like the ones I know off the top of my head.
Totally. Those are iconic.
There's sweet potato oatmeal pancakes at Short Stack Eatery.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Hot and spicy cheese bread from Stella's Bakery.
Yeah.
I just took some home for the holidays.
Yep.
For my
I had-
family.
Yep.
Oh, okay. I
Where
could have
about?
gone with
It is-
more options.
That's
It
way
looks
local
so
kind
good.
of.
Yes.
It
and
does
Dr.
look so
Business.
good.
Like I'm
They're amazing.
Yep.
Old fashioned donut at Greenbush Bakery.
Love green-
Correct.
We love Greenbush. We
Yeah.
also love Level 5.
Level 5's
vegan,
good.
vegan donuts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We talked about Ian's. There's the F bomb platter at Bonzo.
Yes, I'm
Yes,
familiar.
we're
Yeah.
familiar.
I used to work there. Yeah, it's good. It's
It
good.
looks good. I don't have a picture of it. It says image has been removed at the request of the copyright owner, but it's the Gray's Burger at Gray's.
And-
No, Gray's is a high end.
Oh, so that's why.
So I have not had the privilege.
We're musicians.
Yeah.
Of course. No, I get it. The tomato pie at Salvatore's Tomato Pies.
Salvatore's
Absolutely.
good. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
You see, as someone who lived in Portage and just went to Madison occasionally, none of these, I don't know any of these.
That's
good. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, totally fair.
The works at Paul's Palmini's.
Yes.
Incredible. The
Yes.
best. You got
Oh my
it.
god. You got your
Oh.
sour cream, you got your sriracha if you want it, and then you got your meat and potato.
I feel like we're gonna have to redo our list because I only knew the three and I went with the three safe options.
right.
Paul's would be at the top of my list any day. It's just the comfiest food. And
Yeah.
yeah, they've got like all the curry powder on top
and
and
it's open till
cilantro.
like 2 in the morning.
Yeah, you can. I would, order it for pickup, especially if it's late, just because, people. I mean, that's everyone's favorite drunk food. It's
There's one downtown.
so yummy.
And then you can also get Paul Palmetti's in Atwood because it's part of the Rotunda Cafe. They just sell.
Really?
They sell.
Really?
Yeah. Mhm. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
We love and
That's
accessible.
Yeah. You can also get bags of the frozen pelmeni. It's
This
like
is true.
it's
Ooh.
kind of unreal how much.
I love that
they
we're
give
doing
you.
this on the heels of
In a
Small
plastic
Business
bag.
Saturday.
Um,
A little late, but it's true.
baguettes from the Batch Bakehouse.
Oh
I
yeah,
haven't had those.
that's good. I like that.
Yeah, not as much on the Batch Big House, but Madison Sourdough.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Also good.
Madison Sourdough is kind of where it's at.
I haven't had batch in forever though.
Steak sandwich at the Tornado Steakhouse. Never been, but I know where it's at.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know.
right?
of it.
Not
Do they
familiar.
close?
Maybe.
No. Anyway.
I don't.
I'm thinking of something else.
Chef crafted tacos at El Dorado Grill.
I have not been to
Also-
El Dorado.
also not
I've heard great
familiar.
things.
And then the last one on this list is and Babcock ice cream at the Daily Scoop.
Very fun.
Babcock is good.
It's
I love a chocolate
interesting.
shop.
Chocolate shop's
Chocolate
good.
shop.
Yeah. I work at the university, and Babcock is like it's part of their like dairy. They have like a whole dairy store and like dairy sciences stuff. So it's very accessible to me, and it's pretty good ice cream. It's like really, really cool.
Yeah, and that's the list of 14 ridiculously yummy foods you must eat in Madison, Wisconsin.
I would
Nice.
say
That's a good list.
that was a better list. I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but that was a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, I went with that was the second list that popped up. The first one was a Food Network list. I was like, nah, we're not trusting
Yeah.
Food Network.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Ooh,
fair.
can I
Good call, good
can I
call.
add 2 honorable mentions?
Let's go for it.
I'm gonna say Thai and Vietnamese. Ha Long Bay,
Best restaurant.
Ooh.
Incredible.
Best.
So good.
best, and
10
then
out of
there
10.
is an Indian restaurant in Monona called Swad. It is the
Also,
best Indian cuisine you will ever have,
Agree on both.
and that's
Excellent.
Madison, Wisconsin.
Yes.
Wow, I haven't been to that one. I thought you were gonna say a Han.
You would have to be very careful. Ahan!
Han is
A
my
Han-
favorite restaurant.
It's great. Yeah, sorry, we could just go all day.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
Southeast Asian, super good.
Yeah.
All right. One more food question for you guys, and then I swear we're done talking about food because I don't know about you guys.
Great.
Every single time we do this, like this is the part of the taping where I always get really hungry because I don't eat dinner until after, so I'm starving. One last food question though for you guys.
All right.
If Cat in the Hurricane was a potato, what kind of potato would you be?
I love this question.
Obsessed.
Okay.
I was,
Risky fries.
no, I was gonna say top smothered.
What?
Top smothered, like a
God, do it. Go, go, go,
like
go, go.
Okay, at Waffle House, you can get your hash brown like topped, smothered,
Covered.
Smothered, covered.
All
I
that.
don't remember.
There's a lot.
If I bring my partner in, I could be like, "Hey, how do you get your hash brown?" She'll be like, "Smothered, covered." Like she'll name it
Yeah,
all. She
right,
knows
right.
it.
We're from Wisconsin. It's not native to us, but when we're out,
Yeah.
Capped.
That's right.
all that to say, for me, I feel like a hash.
I have it. I have
Like
the
a
list.
smothered, covered.
Yeah, go for it.
Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, topped, diced, peppered, and capped.
Yep. I don't think she gets all of it, but that sounds right.
Topped is in there.
Tag yourself. I'm covered.
So I'm saying hash browns was my.
Oh, okay.
That was my point.
All right.
Good way to say hash browns. Okay.
No, but you can add all that if you want.
Yeah,
You
right.
can be that.
But they can be so versatile.
I understand. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a French fry.
Yeah, nacho fry. Yeah.
Back to the Taco
Because
Bell.
I just had that.
That's the answer.
Yeah. And fries, it just reminds me of
Waffle fries?
Yeah, I mean,
Sweet
sure.
potato
I
waffle
was
fries?
gonna say it reminds me of that
Tops.
time all of it. It reminds me of that time we went on an East Coast tour last year, and we went to Providence, Rhode Island, and this place called Frisky Fries.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The hash brown is just.
It's just fries.
Fries.
Yeah.
Sweet and savory.
Yeah. So I had
Get fries.
it's kind of like a
You can
baked
chop it.
potato with like nacho cheese and like broccoli
Yep.
and stuff in there.
There was
that
buffalo.
was amazing.
There was a buffalo flavored
Yeah.
concoction.
Yeah. It was like Euro fries.
Euro
There was
fries.
like poutine. There was like all these different.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're very passionate about potatoes.
Yeah.
It's
Good
the
question.
moral of that story. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will never forget. There was one band we had. Because this is like I asked it once, and it's just become a staple of a question
I
now.
love it.
And one band, it's like he's been waiting. He was waiting for people to ask him this. He was like, "Bro, a russet potato, because they're so versatile like us. We fit into hardcore, pop punk, metal. Like you could make a russet potato
The pitch was
without
ready.
hesitation." He was
Yeah.
waiting for someone to ask this.
Oh, that's
I love
that's
Wow.
perfect. Yeah, and very in line with our answer. Everything
Yeah.
that we said was the most versatile. Like,
Genre, gender, and potato.
potato. Yes.
flavors. Yes.
Parmesan.
All right, so that's it for the food for thought segment. We're on to our last segment, the rapid fire question segment.
Friendships will be tested. Rapid fire questions.
Pretty simple. You guys are going to speak from the heart, shoot from the hip.
Cool.
You're just going to say the first thing that comes to your mind, even if it's not one of the answers.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So good at this.
All right, you guys.
Like all of them at the same time or
All-
individually?
You guys can do it at the same time. If you guys want to argue about it, yell at it. Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Our goal is to always break up the band with these.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Perfect.
Monster Energy or Rockstar?
Monster.
Neither, but if it had to be, it'd be Rockstar. Wow.
Oh.
Okay.
Red Bull?
No, really?
Red-
Yeah.
Sorry, Red Bull.
Red-
Red Bull. That's what I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Neither is the only answer we
okay.
will not accept.
Okay.
Oh,
Got it.
All right. That's
Red
fair.
Bull. Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay.
I don't know where
Okay.
we're
I know the
at.
rules now.
Yeah.
Pop punk or emo?
Pop on.
Pop
Pop
punk.
punk.
Taylor Swift or John Mayer?
Taylor Swift.
Chapel Rock.
Chapel.
I will not be silenced.
Chapel Roan.
Oh no.
Beautiful.
If I had to pick though, I guess it goes good.
I'd go with Taylor Swift.
Like I said,
No, take Chapel Rock.
you guys can pick that.
Every answer is going to be chaperone from here on out.
Perfect.
Perfect. Skinny jeans or baggy pants?
Skinny
Skinny.
jeans. Let me have my skinny jeans.
Oh, I'm kind of feeling my baggy era, but yeah, skinny jeans.
Skinny.
See, I'm baggy pants at
Okay.
home, skinny jeans when I'm out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the move.
When you want to look high and tight, skinny out.
Disney Plus or Netflix?
Drop out.
Max.
Max.
I was gonna say Disney because Hulu's on there now.
Yeah.
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 Disney Hulu bundle.
And where else am I gonna watch my English teacher?
True.
Yeah.
We already need season 2.
So bad.
So bad.
Stuffed crust or deep dish pizza?
Stuffed crust.
Stuffed crust, yeah.
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 I'm good with that.
Okay.
There's so many different definitions for
Yeah.
Deep dish.
means so many things.
Right. For me, I feel like it has to be from a very specific
It's under the sauce.
Chicago
Yeah.
place.
It's under the sauce.
It's under the sauce.
It's under the
It's
sauce.
under the
Where's the cheese? It's under the sauce.
Vans or Chuck Taylors?
Vans. We all own Vans.
Am I ever not?
I'm amazed I'm not wearing
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
See, and I already feel like I might know the answer to this one, but let's see. The All American Rejects or the Offspring?
All American Rejects. I literally am prepping a cover to do Dirty Little Secret
Oh.
in like an acoustic country style.
I love
Because I
that.
saw it on TikTok. I was like, that is brilliant. And I
Oh.
wanna, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm
Hold
down
on
with
your
All
solo
American
set.
Rejects.
I don't know. I'm all
Yeah.
about the Offspring.
And you know what? That's fair.
That's okay.
I've like noticed there's like a correlation with like people in like my age group. First, it's just without second guessing the All American Rejects, like real quick, like easy.
Yeah.
And then there's like my co-host Pat. He's up there. He's like almost 40. Anyone like in his age group, the Offspring.
And then you have me, where I'm like pretty much smack dab between these two. So like my age group could go like either way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. You guys did it. You finished the podcast. Now's your chance to let everyone know what you guys have going on, what's coming next, and where they can find you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're on all of the social media as Cat and the Hurricane, and all one word, Cat with a K. And we are at catandthehurricane.com, and that's always going to have our shows that are coming up. We are taking it a little bit slow for winter. We just have 2 shows coming up here early in December when we're recording this, one in Madison and one in Milwaukee. But then we're planning, it's not announced yet, but we're planning to tour kind of everywhere we can come spring and summer. All across the Midwest, probably out to Mid-East a little bit. So just stay tuned to all the socials to find that. And yeah, our new album, Got It Out, just came out in October, and it's on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all of that. And yeah, love making friends.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky,
Blue Sky.
I'll
Patreon,
follow you all Blue Sky.
YouTube, TikTok,
Threads.
Threads, unfortunately.
Threads,
All of it.
Oh, the relationship I have with Threads. Anyway,
LinkedIn. No, I'm just kidding.
Bandcamp.
Patreon. We're hoping to
Yes.
put out a lot more content on Patreon. You can find us in the same by the same name, Cat and the Hurricane, all one word, Cat with a K.
You can donate to our silly little band for as little as $2 a month, or
I think it can go down as low as one, actually,
as low as $1. But
if you
yeah.
want. But
And we're about to launch pre-order for our album on vinyl.
yes.
Ooh,
Very
that's
cool.
gonna be sick.
Very cool.
Announcing that on my birthday, which is this coming Friday, December 6th.
I
So,
will
Ooh,
for my
Well,
birthday.
happy early
Everyone went
birthday.
and
Yeah.
Pre-ordered that. Thank you.
It's gonna be cool.
With that being said, I'm Gibby. This is Brett. Pat's not here, so I'm sure he'll see you guys next Monday on. And this has been another episode of Where Did All My Friends Go? Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for checking out the show. Please hit that like, subscribe, or follow button so you never miss an episode. And thank you to those who already are. Please rate and review the show to help the show be found by new people. And if you're in the position to help us grow, head on over to our website where you can find merch, our Patreon, and other ways that you can help at www.unsignedpoppunk.com. Let us know in the comments who else you'd like to see on the show and what other content you would like to see. Thank you so much for spending your time with us.